Whether Buddhist or Buddha, that's Judas or Judah. I got Luga to Ruga, hit from Rooter to Tutor, chick from Hooter to Hooter. I put two in producers. I'm the real ball story, the loser of Hoosiers. Sorry, okay. Whether Buddhist or Buddha, that's Judas or Judah. This is Cam doing compressed theology plus street morality. Buddhist, Buddha, spiritual enlightenment, discipline, detachment, Judas, Judah, betrayal versus lineage, traitor versus tribe. He's collapsing belief versus belief system, individual versus collective, loyalty versus betrayal. The bar isn't saying which is right. It's saying identity is perception-based. Same root, different outcome. Same man, different judgment. That's Harlem philosophy, not Sunday school. I got Luga to Ruga, hit from Rooter to Tutor. This is classic Cam geographic plus sonic mapping. Luger, Ruger, old world to new world firearms, from history to present. Rooter to Tutor, playful nonsense phrase that sounds like distance. He's doing two things at once, establishing range, time, space, access, using childish phonetics to mock how casually he holds that power. It's violent imagery delivered like a nursery rhyme. That dissonance is intentional. From rooter to tutor equals from the root to the tip, from bottom to top, everywhere, all the way through. It's the same semantic lane as from head to toe, from ground to up, from A to Z, from womb to tomb, from soup to nuts, but said in playful, rhythmic, almost childlike black Southern phrasing. That's important. Let's talk about why it sounds the way it sounds. This phrase comes from oral culture, not formal language. The point isn't precision, it's musicality. Ruta, root, base, origin, foundation. Tuta, tip, top, end, extremity. But tuta isn't a real object, it's a sound completion. Like boop, doohickey, thingamajig. Cam loves these kinds of words because civilians hear nonsense. Insiders hear scope, okay? There's a Southern plus black speech pattern thing, okay? In Southern black vernacular, there's a long tradition of doubling syllables, softening hard meanings, turning coverage into rhyme. Think every nook and cranny, from the floor up, all up and through there, inside and out. Rooter to tutor fits that exact same tradition. It's not meant to be interrogated, it's meant to signal completeness. Let's talk about why Cam uses this, okay? Cam pairs it with Luger to Ruga on purpose. That couplet is doing range signaling. Old gun to new gun, root to tip, past to present, bottom to top. But instead of saying it seriously, he raps it in a nursery rhyme cadence so it doesn't sound like a thesis. That's Cam's trick. So the bar isn't, I operate across multiple temporal and spatial domains. It's from rooter to tutor. Same meaning, less guard raised. Why it feels Southern specifically, okay? Because Southern black speech is way more comfortable with playful redundancy, sing-song phrasing, meaning carried by rhythm instead of clarity. That's why you recognize it even if you can't define it. It's not slang you learn, it's slang you hear growing up. From rooter to tutor is folk language. It just means full range, end to end. Cam uses childish phrasing to describe complete coverage, the same way he hides power inside jokes. Chick from Hooter to Hooter, I put two in producers. This is one of the most misunderstanding bars in the song. Yes, it's aggressive. Yes, it's sexualized. But structurally, it's about movement and leverage. Hooter to Hooter is disposable spaces, interchangeable scenes. Two in producers, power over the industry, not just the streets. Cam is saying I move through women casually and I don't revere gatekeepers either. It's not just misogyny, it's anti-authority wrapped in excess. I'm the real ball story, the loser of Hoosiers. This bar is insane and people miss it constantly. Real ball story, street success, actual hustle, loser of Hoosiers, NCAA reference, Indiana equals basketball royalty. He's flipping the sports movie trope. Not the underdog who wins, the outsider who doesn't need their system at all. Here's a translation.
I don't need institutional validation to be real. Street capitalism over sanctioned glory. Why these bars matter together? Because individually they sound chaotic. Together they form a thesis. Religion is relative. Violence is normalized. Power is portable. Institutions don't define legitimacy. And Cam delivers all of that while never breaking cadence. That's the part critics miss. This isn't randomness, it's density disguised as nonsense. On the surface, Hoosiers is remembered as underdog team, small town kids, pure fundamentals, winning the state championship. But structurally, the movie is really about legitimacy through institutions. To win in Hoosiers, you must buy into discipline, respect the system, play the right way, be validated by organized competition. Even the rebels, Gene Hackman's coach and Dennis Hopper's character, only become heroes after they submit to structure. That's important.
I'm the real ball story.
When Cam says this, he's already rejecting the movie's thesis. He's saying my success story is real, not cinematic, not inspirational, not sanitized. Ball works on multiple levels. Basketball, Hoosiers domain, hustling, balling, high stakes risk and reward. Cam's ball story doesn't end in trophies, applause, institutional approval. It ends in survival and dominance.
The loser of Hoosiers.
Why loser is the key word. This is where people miss it. He doesn't say I'm the Hoosier. I'm winning of Hoosiers. He says loser. Meaning, if my life were judged by their rules, their court, their system, I lose. And he's fine with that. That's a rejection of the American sports movie fantasy. In Hoosiers, the court is clean. The rules are fair. Look at what surrounds the bar. Religious ambiguity, Buddha, Judas, weapons spanning eras, Luger, Ruger, disposable spaces and people, violence delivered casually. That's not a world where Hoosiers logic applies. Cam's environment doesn't reward discipline, doesn't care about fundamentals, doesn't crown winners fairly. So he's saying the loser of Hoosiers is actually saying I refuse to measure myself by a fantasy that never included me. Okay, there's a deeper flex. By invoking Hoosiers, Cam shows he knows the reference, understands the myth, rejects it anyway. That's cultural fluency plus defiance. He's not ignorant of the system, he's choosing not to worship it. That makes the bar sharper than just I don't play basketball. There's a Harlem translation in plain language. If you had to say it bluntly, the bar means I'm not the type of success story white America likes to celebrate, but I'm still successful, and my story is real. That's why the bar lands harder the older you get, okay? Let's talk about why this is perfect for what I do at the Hidden Bar, okay? Because this isn't just a punchline, it's a philosophical stance wrapped in one sports movie reference. Camron knows the rules, knows the myth, knows he'd lose their game, builds his own anyway. That's not throwaway writing. That's worldview compression. And when you connect that back to the chaos and excess of the verse, the line stops being random and starts being quietly defiant.